Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makara, all relations. Let's get started with today's video on the inferiority complex, okay? The inferiority wound. Now, what makes you feel inferior, okay? A lot of the times this is this subconscious gunk, right? This inner critic in the back of your mind telling you that you are not good enough. But good enough for what though? Good enough to be yourself? Aren't you the best at being you? So we come in as human beings thinking we know ourselves, and so we classify ourselves with a disorder term, right? I have imposter syndrome. I have inferiority complex. Now listen, I'm a positive psychologist. Everything I say, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not dismissing Adler's teachings or anything like this. I'm just giving you my perspective. So let's go, okay? Number one, why are you comparing yourself to others? When you compare yourself to others, you feel disabled. If I compare myself to someone in the NBA and their height, like 6'8" or something, I'm gonna feel like a dwarf. If I compare myself to somebody else who has like a billionaire's wealth, I'm gonna feel tiny, infinitesimal. I'm gonna feel what? Inferior. Inferior compared to what? Okay, so first of all, understanding who are you comparing yourself to? Right? Who are you comparing yourself to? And nowadays, you just scroll the internet, you doom scroll, and then you find the most black pill channel, and then you start getting sucked into this weird looks-maxing culture that immediately you get so insecure, like, oh my God, my eyebrow is like a little bit off. It needs to be more hunter eye, actually. Damn it, right? Or like, oh my God, my face is not perfectly symmetrical. Oh no, like it's the end of the world. So we have all of these giant comparisons that we're making. Of course, we're gonna feel smaller. But if we recognize our true strengths or talents and allow them to emerge from within us, we're not gonna feel inferior at all, actually, okay? When the West took over China, for instance, China still felt like they were superior, right? They just felt, oh, whatever, like we have more of a myth and blah, blah, blah. But if you take India, for instance, Indians still feel like they have an inferiority complex. And even in these looks-maxing communities, they'll be like, you're out, right? Just because you're brown, you're out. Look, I'm Indian. I don't even look Indian. I look Mexican or something, right? And I don't talk to you like this, so you guys just dismiss that, right? The no accent means no Indian, okay? That's fine. That's how we were going to classify people, in fact. But besides that point, I want you to really reflect on this. Is there this weird subconscious thing working within you? Like, you know what? Maybe the West is better, stronger, faster than me. Maybe, maybe this propaganda of America, yeah, is actually something legit. And that my own country is not good enough. And I should sit here and cry about it. Instead of what? Being the best representative of my country. You see the difference in mentality? What people with inferiority complex or inferiority wound do is they avoid. They have these defense mechanisms or these shields, okay? And the moment they're met with the actual issue, like let's say your issue is like you feel not good enough because of your body image, right? Like let's say you're just like, oh man, I'm too overweight. I need to be like these other people, okay? Now listen, that's primarily, you just need to work on your health. You don't need to compare yourself to these other models and like photoshopped individuals online, right? You just need to get in the gym and just do shit, okay? But then when you have an inferiority complex, you're like, no, actually, you know what? I'm big boned. I have a thyroid issue. I can't do this. My family won't let me actually go to the gym. Actually, I need to do. You come up with all sorts of excuses so that you can stay inferior. So then the universe is going, oh, wait, I thought they were good enough, but they're saying they're not. So, I mean, even God is confused at you, right? That energy is going, wait a second, are you sure about that? Right? You think Thierry Henry is a better, football player than you? Okay, so be it. We'll give you nightmares about Thierry Henry. Okay, we'll put you in a box where you train with him until you win. Okay? Why are you creating these intense mental scenarios for yourself? Okay? because that's what keeps you stuck. If you feel emotionally dampened, that you can't feel through anything, and you feel apathetic, numb, indifferent, I don't give a shit, right? You're not going to take action on actually solving this thing. So the number one thing to solve this inferiority is to lean into the thing that's actually uncomfortable. Okay, if you feel inferior based on like your height or this or that, you work on that, right? You work on that. You use subliminals, you use guidance, you speak to maybe a person who knows CBT, you speak to somebody else, maybe you go through hypnosis, you try different things. You don't just sit there and wallow and dwell in the sadness and the pain, you know, feeling like you're belittling yourself. Because your own mind can make you go down such a dark alleyway and abyss that you'll have a gun to your head at some point. Okay? Don't trust the mind, trust the body. Trust the natural order of things that are already there, and the invisible Tao, okay? This substrate energy, this Brahman, trust in that. Let go, stop trying to objectify and say that this is exactly what it is, and this is who I am, and I'm an inferior person. Avoid classifying yourself because you're taking away your flow state, okay? So first of all, if you even question that you have an inferiority complex, you need to drop that. That's why I made this the title of the video, so that you can have permission to actually drop this label, okay? Inferior according to what? You are God's child. What more is there to strive for? Okay? What are you striving for? What are you trying to achieve so much? Okay? For what? For what? If I be successful, only then will the world love me. No, actually, you are loved unconditionally. Actually, you are loved unconditionally. You just don't know it. Okay? And now you're creating a maneuver out of love, some kind of a quick hack out of love, trying to make it some kind of a system for you so that love flows endlessly, but it can't match the invisible essence of what is, that heightened awareness of everything. So, if you're ever feeling inferior or smaller than somebody else, you got to really ask yourself, what is that quality that they have? Right? What is the trait that they have that I wish that I could have? And why not Rykov it? What does Rykov mean? It's a visualization where you take their head and you put their head over your head like a mask, and you absorb their good qualities. I've been like Rogue from X-Men in the male form, right? In so many ways like this. I've taken other people's attributes, talents, you know, things that I've admired in them, and absorbed them into myself. Like a sponge. And an empath can do this faster, actually. Right? An empath can actually do this way better. If you guys want the step-by-step, spiritualmasterychallenge.com. Okay, go check it out. I believe it will be on maybe even day 3, day 2. So let's just be real about this. Do you think that nature is out here feeling inferior? Do you think a bird that's chirping and happy is comparing itself to the other birds? Or is it just running on its pure instinct? There's something invisible which that bird knows, and they can trust in their own wings because they have the faculties and the competence for that. So you need to trust in your own wings, meaning you need to trust in your strengths, the things that you know you are absolutely good at, that you can double down on. You could take a monkey, a bird, you know, a piranha, all these different animals, and tell it, go climb that tree. The monkey's gonna win. The monkey's primed towards that environment of climbing that tree. It's easy peasy. So we can't really level the playing field like that. Everybody is unique, special, amazing, fascinating, like a universe on their own, in their own ways, right? And you know this after talking to someone, you're like, holy shit, I didn't think they were like that. That's awesome, right? And this is what you want to start to discover about yourself, because this discovery mode is going to fizzle away that insecurity, that inferiority, that comparison trap. It's going to take it away. Because you're going to slowly start to gain power and trust yourself and love yourself again. And this is really what's key, is self-love. If you send yourself the love and you learn to love yourself unconditionally, I love you no matter what. I love you no matter what, man. right? And you start doing that, that's gonna create a ripple effect, a momentum. That momentum will get you out of this inferiority thing, because you're the best you that you know, okay? Okay, maybe someone has the same name as you. Who cares? Classify yourself out of that paradigm. Create a newer name that sounds even cooler than their name, right? Do you think I'm out here comparing myself to any other YouTuber? Really? Like, you think I'm out here, looking at other videos and being like, oh, maybe that guy, I wonder if he has more followers and I should follow that strategy, instead of trusting my own heart and soul? You think that strategy is gonna ever work? If I try to copy and mimic and try to do other things like other people? No. It's gonna go horribly wrong, because that's not my true essence. That's not who I am. That's not who I prefer to be even. I created this Uncle Makara archetype so I could step into it and be of service, be of value. And that's the thing, you gotta recognize your own value. You are valuable simply because you exist here, okay? Because otherwise, you wouldn't be here in this timeline, okay? You would have had another mission, another dimension, another realm. But you're here in this one, now it's time to take action, okay? It's not time to dilly-dally, create wishy-washy excuses. It's time to really get into the meat and potatoes of this shit, man. You think a flower feels inferior? I wonder if the flower next to me is blooming faster than I am. Perhaps if I try... No! It just blooms. It just wins. It just grows. It just glows. It doesn't need these different techniques and strategies and different tools and different mechanisms to make it cooler. It knows that there is something that is eternal, that will never die, that will stand the test of time eternally. That divine spark, that knowingness, is what will erase any insecurity, any inferiority. Because your inner knowingness, your inner truth, your inner beauty is truly what matters. You are way better than you think you are in your mind. You already know that, because you had people remind you. And I'm reminding you today, you are good enough. You are not inferior to anybody. And maybe it's time to start being different, being unique, creating your own lane. In peak performance shamanism, I've created my own league and lane. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else because I'm a pioneer. And with that mindset, I start moving. And of course, there are times where I'm like, I get insecure, or I'll like notice something where I'm like, why am I doing that? Or like, damn, that seems like an old past wound thing, right? But that's absolutely valid. That we need that process, right? We need that process to make our futures glow brighter and better. Because if we didn't have those cringeworthy moments, we wouldn't even know what was the good moments, right? If we didn't have the cringe moments, we wouldn't know the good moments. If right now you started feeling amazing, feeling really good, would you still have to justify yourself? Oh, maybe I'm feeling inferior. No, it's how you're interpreting your moods and your emotions. You're thinking just because you feel sad, you are worse off than another person. You're justifying your moods and symptoms to keep you in this struggle, the struggle phase of the flow cycle, where you need to just take yourself out of the matrix, like, right? And just be a glitch. Right? You take your attention away from the societal, like, oh, maybe I need to be Kim Kardashian, and zoom out, right? Now you're sitting back on your throne again. whoa, I was in that celebrity indoctrination camp over there. I don't know what was going on there. I was watching all these reality shows and comparing myself to all these other people, not even knowing that my own strength was being stomped on, was being repressed, was being like crushed down. That bad boy archetype, that, you know, savage shaman within me, that priest beast nature, that holy animal within, was being tossed around, just smacked around. Get in your cage. We don't want you, okay? But that fire needs to burn within you. And you know you've had this fire within you. Now it's time to ignite the flame slowly. Doesn't have to be all in one day, but the gradual tapping in, getting into the zone, getting back into your own power again, knowing that you will resurrect your mojo, knowing that all the powers are just secretly hidden underneath the crevices of your manifestations. They're there. Now it's time to ignite the spark. You are not inferior, you are not tiny, so stop playing small. Stop being this little version of you. My girl said that I call big things, like giant things, as little things in my mind. Maybe I shrink it down. Like that's my flow state idea of things, right? I'll just be like, yeah, just put on this little jacket. Right? Why would I say little in front of that? You know, it's a big jacket. It's a normal sized jacket. But just maybe it's just like a rap slang thing, or like, you know, saying Lil Wayne or Lil Uzi or Lil Baby, you know? So, still got some Ascension flu, as you can hear it. But yeah, this video, man, I hope this was really like life-changing for you, and like it shaked you awake, or you realized something different about yourself. Because truly, as I was making this, I was watching all these other videos on, you know, on this topic. A lot of them are silly, bro. The number one thing I want you to do if you have this weird inferiority complex thing is, first of all, stop calling it a complex. Second of all, start to notice all your defense mechanisms that are keeping you stuck there, okay? Keeping you stuck there. So you're not stuck there, but it's keeping you stuck there. I actually attended the 3-day, I don't know, my mom signed me up to this like Tony Robbins 3-day thing, right? And there he said, being stuck is not using all of your abilities. You have multi-talents and you're using one talent. You're not overlapping them. You're not using them and utilizing them together like they're best friends. You're not integrating them into your own life. You see? They're like talents. Oh, I forgot about that. I used to sing when I was younger. Why not embellish that singing into your teaching or whatever, right? Why not enhance that quality? I realized this, man, quite recently, that I need to start recording music again. But are you sure you want to do that? That's quite zesty. I don't know. That's quite new age. I'm not too sure if you should do that. In fact, you know, maybe other people will give you opinions. What a bunch of nonsense, okay? What a bunch of just words, just going one ear out the other, okay? Why? Why do you need to impose your will on me? Why do you need to impose your reality on me? I realize this within myself, bro, that the reason I give so much unsolicited advice is because I didn't feel valuable. And now that I recognize that, holy shit, I'm not gonna give that advice because I wanna protect that advice for myself too, right? And you can't cast pearls before swine. You already know this. Well, I already knew that. But it's tough because the ego mind mechanism, right? The ego mind identity loves to keep us stuck, loves to keep us in these little loops and traps and like, I have inferiority. Hey, maybe you should try this, you know? That would be a good idea. What if someone comes up to you like that, right? Hey, have you ever tried joining our CrossFit cult? That's your way out of insecurity and inferiority. If you join any path thinking it's a cop-out, thinking it's some kind of shortcut or get-rich-quick scheme, right? Listen, that is not Primal Sutra. You're not gonna get into Primal Sutra and just immediately everything's gonna start to manifest, okay? That's a la-di-da, you know, fantasy you've made in your head, okay? This is a path that's long-lasting. It's for the trailblazers that truly know that there's some primordial essence running them, running this code. that doesn't compare itself to other people. Like, bro, I compare myself to anime characters. That's unrealistic, right? I mean, compare me to Luffy or something, right? There's this guy who looked like Luffy, by the way. Shout out Eddie on Shiva's channel. But yeah, really interesting, guys, okay? Really interesting. I'm not here to just compare myself in my life to just this ordinary la-di-da, 9-to-5 goer. Oh, blue-collar worker. Oh, yes, entrepreneur with a 6-figure income. I'm not there to compare myself to those people. I'm comparing myself to gods, to archetypes, to different mentalities that don't exist on this physical plane, that are ethereal, transcendent concepts that stretch the persona, that stretch the dimensions of my mind to these altered states. And then I start to live it. Then I start to tap into the zone. Then I start to feel that every single moment, everything is unfolding the way that it needs to. So be it, Swaha. Let's get it. Upward spiral, gang. May we never be the same again. Thank you for watching. Let's go! Man, I can tell I already made some people like Mario jump on a mushroom right now and just... now they're about to crush their day. Let's go. Us.